But yeah, Kimmie, just the first question I have, just kind of give us a little bit of background, kind of. I mean, I was reading you grew up on a ranch, and how'd you kind of become involved in rodeo?
Sorry, that might be better off. I did. I grew up on a cattle ranch in Altamont, Utah, and so my whole family is rodeo background. I have brothers that rope. I have my niece was Miss Rodeo America. My whole family runs barrels. All the girls do. With a ranch background, everybody it's kind of something we have to do. It's not something we want to do, or it's something that it's a necessity, and that's where rodeo came from.
How old were you when you started doing rodeo?
When I started riding, I was all of 2.
Okay.
I was just little bitty, but when I started competing in little junior rodeos and just little jackpots and such, I was probably 4 or 5, but I just grew up with a dream of you was always that little girl that wanted to go to the NFR.
So how old were you when you first, I guess, competed in your first kind of official rodeo?
When I was younger and in our area, they didn't have a whole lot of junior rodeos and such. So the first time I really remember they had a junior series, I was probably 10 or 11, and I just thought I'd really hit the big time.
Okay.
But then high school rodeo was the time that really we got to spread our wings and learn what rodeo was really all about in our area.
Did you place at state doing high school rodeo at all?
I did. I made it to state all 4 years. I qualified for state, but I was kind of the all-around cowgirl. I did everything.
And then where did you go to college and do rodeo as well?
I did not. I did not college rodeo. I got married and I had a family. I have 2 kids.
Okay.
I've been married to my husband almost 18 years, my husband Travis, and we raise and train all of our horses together. And then we have 2 kids. Briley is my daughter, and she's 14, and my son Stran is 12.
Okay.
And they are every bit as part of what we do as Travis and I.
And I think I was reading, because doing some research on you, I guess you didn't rodeo for a while. You were just training horses, and you didn't think you could compete, right?
Right. After, it kind of lost the dream, I just stayed home and jackpotted and raised my little babies and trained horses and helped young girls, and I kind of wasn't sure that the dream was going to live. It was still within me, but I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it. But once my kids got older and I realized I had these horses that Travis and I we had waited all of our lives for. That was our dream, and that's what we wanted, and we was able to train these horses. You either sell them or you fulfill your dream, and that's what we decided to do.
Was that kind of the driving horse to kind of put your foot back in the door, per se? I mean, what was it to kind of get yourself back in the rodeo scene?
Really, Travis and I at first just kind of really wanted to get our names out there in the training industry and kind of just be able to train those nice horses like the ones that we were striving to raise and train, and we wanted to just be able to train for other people. But once we got out there and we was able to compete with the best in the world, our whole aspect on our future changed, and I think we decided that the dream is alive again.
Okay. And you started in 2014. Was that when you officially started competing again?
No, I really started before that. I started back with some younger horses that we had trained. I started back probably in 2011 with some younger horses in the amateur circuits, and then I went on with some other horses. And actually what happened is I had a horse that I really thought was going to carry me there, and he got hurt.
Okay.
And then when he got hurt, I came home and kind of regrouped, and there was Foxy in the background, and Travis said, I really think she's going to be something. Why don't you climb on her and start her? And I did, and here we are today. and
she's your riding horse right now, and has been great for you ever since?
She is the number one. She is the number one, and she has been the one that I took off, and she fulfilled my rookie season, and that was 3 years ago, and we've never looked back.
So you guys have a really kind of good relationship. You kind of, work really well with, your routine and everything out there.
You know what? Foxy's kind of irritating to be around. She's a diva. That's the only way I know how to explain her. So, it took us a long time it took Foxy and I a long time, because we were both rookies at this, really going down the road rodeoing, not just rodeoing and going home, rodeoing and going home. It took us both a long time to figure this out. And Foxy was just a baby when I set out with her. She was only 5 years old. So once we figured it out and Foxy learned how to rodeo, we really just feel like the sky's the limit.
Now, you had some injuries at the start. Was I reading you kind of struggled before you kind of really broke out this year? Did you kind of have some injury problems starting out? Or
No, that was on a different horse.
Oh, a different
years
horse.
ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any adversities that you've kind of, with the exception of maybe getting to this point starting now, but any hardships since you started?
This year we've dedicated our whole year to, we call it #CancerSucks.
Okay.
My mother-in-law passed away of brain cancer in May, and she struggled this whole season. She fought brain cancer and unfortunately lost her battle. So that is what we fight for this season, and we really wish she'd be there with us at the NFR,
Okay.
but she's not going to be. But we've dedicated our whole year to her, and we feel like sometimes we have Angel riding with us.
Awesome. Now, speaking of family, is your family pretty supportive? Do they ever come on the road with you, like during these events?
My kids have been with me all summer.
Okay.
One or the other has been with me. My daughter loves to go. She was in Calgary with me. She was in California with me. She loves the whole rodeo scene, and all the girls know her, and she knows all of them. She's the official photographer. She gets to video everybody, but she loves it. My son is more into sports, so he stays home quite a bit. But my husband, of course, is very supportive because he helps raise and train all the babies with me.
Okay. What are some notable results that you're particularly proud of in your career so far? What are some wins or placings that you love?
Gosh, I'm just proud of every time Foxy runs down the alley, actually. But I've won Nampa. I won Logandale, excuse me. I won this rodeo last year, actually. My last big win was Hermiston, Oregon. I think I'm leading the Gold Tour standings right now.
Okay.
I'm really proud of Foxy. You know what? I got to go to Calgary this year. That was a big accomplishment.
Nice.
That was super fun for my family and I to say we got to go run at that rodeo and go run for 100,000. All those big rodeos are, Travis and I just never thought we would ever be in this situation to get a run of these, so I cherish every one of them.
Now, you've had a tremendous year. I was overhearing Susan tell you. I think you're 7th in the world right now. Is that correct?
I'm 6th or 7th.
6th or 7th. So, just kind of talk about this year. You're on the cusp of qualifying for the National Finals Rodeo. Just kind of talk about the year you've had so far.
This year was one of those years, it was a make it or break it year, really, for me. Travis and I had decided maybe this might be the year we give it one last shot, and if we didn't make it, we might go home and just train horses and see where it goes from there. But I really feel like we've had an angel riding with us this year, and she's maybe gave us that one little push to get there. This year has just been amazing. I think with the exception of maybe 4 rodeos, Foxy's got a check every time she's ran down the alley, and that's amazing. Mm-hmm. That is amazing in this industry because you are competing against the best in the world, and it doesn't matter where you go, there is somebody waiting out there to take your money.